Ah shit, you can't survive in tar pits. Welcome back to Creative Gaming. In the last episode I started a unique playthrough of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Just to quickly recap the rules that I'm abiding by. At all times there is only one active region. The first active region is the Great Plateau. I can only do shrines and get Korok seeds in my current active region. Once I want to move on to a new region, I roll the die and the result is the direction of the next active region I will go to next. So 1 is north, 2 is east, 3 is south, 4 is west, 5 is north or south, and 6 is east or west. I can't do shrines or get Koroks in the previous regions, but I am allowed to get ingredients, equipment, etc. If I unlock a region that has a divine beast on it, I will have to conquer the divine beast before moving on. If I unlock the region with Hyrule Castle, I will have to at least visit the castle, which I've already done in my last episode. Same rules apply for those of you trying these rules with Tears of the Kingdom. So now we continue. Right now I'm at Central Hyrule. I'm about to roll the die to see which direction I'm going to next. Alright, I roll a 3, which is the bordering region to the south. So this takes me to the Dueling Peaks region. Alright, so when you play the game normally, this is usually a second region most players travel to, since the game gives you quests in this region. Alright, let's mess around with some bokoblins. Oh wow, they're actually running away. I don't think I've ever seen this before, them running away from my levitated metal object. This game never ceases to surprise me. Every time I play it, I discover something new. A Korok seed under this bridge. I have to be careful because my active region has changed. And yes, it's within my new boundary, so I am allowed to get it. You can often find treasure chests in the water too, rivers, lakes. There's a shrine over there. And yes, it is on my new active region as well. This forest has some iron shrooms and stamella shrooms, very useful cooking ingredients. Link doesn't waste his time with fishing rods. He has the new modern way to fish, bombs. Oh, that's this shrine with the flowers. That lady can kick your ass if you step on the flowers too many times. She doesn't seem to care if these choo-choo slime enemies slobber all over them though. This shrine is pretty basic, just traversing some water and bombing this wall. Alright, let's get this botw before he gets annoying. There's another hideout over there, but it's not worth doing them all. Sometimes you'll use more items and weapons to fight the enemies and the rewards aren't always great. So sometimes you end up using more resources than getting them in the long run. Some more bokoblins there, but there doesn't seem to be any rewards, just meat. That has been a complaint for this game in Tears of the Kingdom, although there are a lot of secrets and treasures, but most of the time your rewards might be a stone that you can sell for some money, or a weapon or bow, but they break after a few uses. You can get rupees as well, so it doesn't really pay to try to be a completionist in this game. It would be impossible to get everything in this game anyway, and I'll explain a little later why. Here we are at our next tower. This region has the Dual Peaks, the stable where they teach you about horses, and Kakariko Village. This game is open world and you can go wherever you want, but the game kinda nudges you in this direction. Oh nice, this little lake has 4 treasure chests. Nothing mandatory, but it's always fun hunting for treasures. Another Korok seed. These tree puzzles confused me at first. It's actually pretty simple, but you need to have all of the same apples on the same branches in all of the trees. But for some reason it took me forever to figure this out. This swamp is an area of interest. There is a book here which gives details on many treasures of the game, downloadable content, which I have. But darn, it's off limits right now. That's in another region. Time to bring out my inner Minecraft. And here we get our first Blood Moon. The Blood Moon is a clever way for the developers to refresh the world. You see, as you kill enemies and obtain treasures, the game actually uses more data to remember everything you've accomplished. If there weren't any Blood Moons, this game would probably start to stutter a lot, slow down, and possibly crash much later on. But the Blood Moon revives all the enemies and reinstates the treasure boxes. so the game will use less data to remember everything. It's a plus for the functionality of this game, and for the player since he'll never be able to clear the entire map of enemies and treasures. That's why earlier I said it's impossible to be a completionist in this game. Well, you can be, but it's impossible to kill all enemies and have all treasure chests in between blood moons. Damn, that didn't count? Trying again. I always had a bit of trouble with this one. Here we have another shrine. Some people didn't like the shrines. In most Zelda games there are usually dungeons, but they're usually pretty long and complex, and can take more than an hour to complete. This game introduced smaller puzzles. I can understand why they did this. They created this gigantic world for you to explore, so they wanted you to find these shrines like giant Easter eggs. There are 120 total in this game, and I think Tears of the Kingdom has 154, something crazy like that. Another one done. These little rock enemies can be taken down by bombs, or you can simply pick them up and throw them. Oh wow, how'd you get up there, sweetie? I have 8 spirit orbs. I should get a couple of upgrades. Alright, here is another fun shrine. Nothing too difficult, more of a test of timing. You do have to do a little extra work if you want to get the treasure chest here. Yay, the climber's bandana, one of my favorite pieces of equipment in this game. I usually do a lot of climbing, so the climber's gear is very useful for that. Here is another interesting shrine. This one makes you think a little more. You can create 3 ice pillars at any given time, so that is key. Now rolling this boulder, it's gotta go in between the trees. Oh, I don't think it's gonna make it. It's going in the wrong direction. No, it's back on track. We got it. I'm now climbing the high mountains of Dueling Peak. There are 2 shrines on these mountains, and they kinda work together. Each shrine is the answer to the other shrine. I always have to write this down. I never remember the sequence by memory. Alright, here we go. There is another shrine near this river. This game sometimes makes use of the motion sensors in your Joy-Cons or the Pro Controller. By tilting your controller, you control this apparatus here. Now we find Hetsu. If you want to carry more weapons, bows, and shields, he's essential. This is where you need your Korok seeds. Ah shit, this skeleton disturbing me while I'm looking at this puzzle. So we finally get to Kakariko village. These little fairies are really handy. They revive you if you die. And this large fairy can upgrade your equipment. This shrine teaches you about some of the battle mechanics of the game. Dodge at the right time to get a flurry rush, parry, etc. Now we're going to buy the stealth equipment. It's time to sell our ores, the best way to make money in this game. Upgrading some more clothes. Now we meet with Impa, a key character in this game. This is where you learn more of the backstory of this game. An evil entity known as Calamity Ganon took possession of the various mechanical guardians to ravage the kingdom. Link was almost killed, and so were the different champions chosen to protect Princess Zelda. They commanded giant mechanical beasts known as the Divine Beasts. But everything has gone to crap, and the world has been like this for the last 100 years. So you're kind of in a post-apocalyptic medieval world with some Sheikah technology. Link is on his own to reclaim control of the Divine Beasts, free the spirits of the champions, and finally defeat Calamity Ganon in Hyrule Castle. So it's a simple enough story. I don't know if the storytelling manner of this game is inspired by the Dark Souls series, where your character is in a destroyed world and you get bits and pieces of history about what happened before it all went to crap.
Sacred power to seal away Calamity Ganon.
Here we have the chicken quest. Find 10 chickens. Not the most fun of quests, but it's always fun to hold a chicken and glide down with it. Now we're gonna warp back to Hexu. His second location is at the Riverside Stable. That's in my previous active region, but I am allowed since it's only shrines and Korok seeds that are off limits. Here we are at Misko's treasures. I don't know if that's off my map or not, but even if it is, I have some pretty good weapons right now that I don't want to get rid of. I may need to come back here sometime later. There's always something to get your attention in this game. It's hard to make a beeline to whatever your next objective is. Here we have some birds in the distance. They actually look like paper birds. Obviously the game will spawn this flock far away from Link. You'll probably never get close to these birds, especially with the simple geometry they use. They look like paper planes. I bet She Says has seen these before. He likes birds in video games. Shout out to She Says. A Korok here. Ah shit, I jumped too far. Here we try again. Again, some clumsy fighting from me.
You've beaten this game several times. Why do you play like a complete noob?
Aren't you supposed to be my emotional support animal? A little emotional support, please?
Fine. Good going, Dylan. Great gameplay, Dylan.
Thank you. Here we stumble upon some bokoblins chasing a boar. It's always fun to see what's going on in this world as you travel. Alright, I think I'm ready to move to another region. I'm probably missing a few shrines, but I can't remember anymore just off the top of my head. Let's roll and see where I go next. Okay, so I rolled a 4. 4 is west or left. So the region to the left is the Great Plateau where we started at. So I could go west of the Great Plateau, but we do have a region that borders on the west of this region. It's more south, but there is a big enough western border, so we will go there next. This is the Lake Hylia region. I now have access to the Deo village ruins. Now we can get that book that reveals the location of all the DLC treasures. There's a treasure in this well. If you're having trouble seeing, you can use magnesis to see metal objects more clearly, and you can use stasis to see other objects like rocks, materials, etc. Ah, here we have one of the dragons. I think this is Ferosh. When I first saw these dragons, I wondered, oh gosh, do you have to fight these things at some point? But you never really fight them. There is another purpose to them. Another Korok. Again, a 3 trees challenge. Cooking these hardy durians gives you some extra yellow hearts too. Ah shit, you can't survive in tar pits. Link, the great legendary hero who will vanquish evil and set the world right. Oh, he died in a tar pit while reaching for a rushroom. Here we have another shrine, another test of strength. Another shrine over there near a stable. Even though Breath of the Wild has a fairly simple story, but I like the story of the hero, starting out weak, half naked, and they have to slowly build themselves from the ground up to finally get ready to take on their mortal enemy. It's an old cliche, but one I never get tired of when it's done right. Shit. Lost one of my extra yellow hearts for that. Now we are near the tower. I guess this is a big bokoblin camp, but I'm not gonna bother fighting them. I'm just gonna force myself through. I did finish this game once in Master Mode. Master Mode was actually a lot of fun. I didn't engage with any enemies the first third of the game, but the sneaking around was fun, and there's a lot more treasures to find. And strangely, upgrading your equipment seemed a lot faster too. Since the enemies are stronger, they give better drops. The only thing I didn't like is the enemies' health regeneration. If you don't hit them consistently, they start to recover their health, which is annoying. I'll have to play the Master Mode again sometime. Alright, another map. I think there's one of the special treasures here. Will Link find the legendary armor that will bring down his nemesis to his knees? And an island lobster shirt. Not quite. It has heat resistance, which will be useful whenever I get to the desert region. There's a shrine on this island in Lake Helia. This shrine puzzle takes a little longer to figure out. You need to play with the two different bombs you can use, the sphere bomb and the cubic bomb. And you have to get the timing right too, to blow up those blocks high above you. Oh shit, that Lizalfo startled me. Alright, now we have a horse again. Here's another shrine, in what looks like a dump. This is another shrine that I was stuck on at first, until you realize you can carry this laser block. Ah yes, the giant horse. I don't have a ton of stamina, but let's see if I can get him. Ah shit, I used my meal too late, it kicked me off. Let's try this again. Oh shit, that's a Lionel. And a red-maned Lionel. Hurry up, you stupid horse! Lionels aren't friendly! Alright, 100 rupees. Not bad. Can I register this horse? I don't remember. Let's call him Titan. Here we have the horse goddess. She can revive your horses if they get killed. Damn, 1,000 rupees? Ugh, I don't think I want to spend that much this early in the game. These fairies are all business. No money, no dice.
I like the pun.
Okay, I want to go east, but there is a big detour going back around with my horse. I think I'll just climb behind the horse goddess. Another Korok. There's a Hinox over there. Let's see if we can launch this stone plate to hit him. Haha, we got him! That plate didn't do a lot of damage, it seems. This game actually has some old school ideology behind it. For example, you find a lot of these Hinoxes throughout the game. The fight with each of them is similar, but sometimes they'll have like a wooden brace on their knees, or a metal brace. The wooden brace can be burned down with fire. The metal brace can't be destroyed, so you have to either attack its other leg, or damage them some other way. That's an old school mechanic to repeat an enemy or a boss, but on different terrain or with different circumstances, which varies the challenge. Oh nice, the Phantom Ganon armor. I'll say right now I haven't played all of the Zelda games. I've played the first 4 ones, the original Legend of Zelda on the Nintendo, Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link, A Link to the Past, and Link's Awakening on the old Game Boy. There are a lot of Zelda games I haven't played, like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Yes, Ocarina of Time, the game that everyone says is the best in the series. I know, I suck. I actually do own it for the 3DS, I need to get to it eventually. Oh shit, an electric Lizalfos, I didn't see him there. Alright, I think I'm ready to move on. There are certainly shrines I'm missing, but the Lake Hylia region isn't the most exciting region, so when I continue I will roll the die. Alright, now guys, this is where I'm gonna need your feedback. As a rule to myself, I decided not to play the same game for more than 2 episodes in a row. Obviously, Breath of the Wild is a pretty long game, so maybe not everybody would be interested in watching me play a dozen episodes in a row. But leave me a message in the comments and let me know if you enjoyed these Breath of the Wild playthroughs and want to see more, or are you not really that interested? These playthroughs might come more or less frequently, depending on your comments. Also, if I ever get the sense that the viewers are bored or tired of a playthrough, I can stop it as well. If people lose interest, I can just move on. So let me know in the comments. Give me those likes, comments, and subscribe, and keep gaming, everyone.